Now let's deal with the spectral balance of this song. Again, I will play the busiest part, I guess, and let's see what we need to do there, and then of course go back and forth along the song and see if there's anything else we need to adjust based on what's happening in the song in other places. So let's play this part first. And of course I can feel it and I can see it on my analyzer too, that some spectral balancing is a must. Now, for you to get the same kind of response on span, I'm going to show you the settings that I'm using right now. So you will go to the master setting first and then open this cogwheel right here. And you can set this 1 octave to 1/3 octave. Just like this. And you get that kind of response. Now, again, I want to disable the second spectrum. That's it. This is all I need. So what I want to do is I want to reduce the amount of bass I have. And one thing I'm going to use on this song, because it seems like it's tilted, I want to use the tilt filter. So if I play it, I can see there is way more bass than everything else in the song. Okay, the highs are present, but we have not that many mids, and the whole song is slanted downwards. So I will add another filter. I won't make it just the side, okay? I will make sure that it's affecting the mids and the sides, or the left and the right, the entire spectrum. And I will change that into a flat tilt, just like this. So downwards, it would adjust it so it would move up the bass and lower the highs, but we want the opposite. We want to do this. Something like so, like that. Of course, you can choose where the center of that is going to be. Somewhere around K is good enough. I can actually make it 1K. And you don't have to type 1000 to get 1000 hertz. You can just type 1K, enter. It's gonna be 1000 hertz. It knows what you meant, basically. And we're gonna go up to, let's say, some almost 3 dBs. Let me see. Yeah, I like this. Maybe a little bit less. Like that. Let's say 2.5, just to have an exact measurement. 2.5, just like that. Let's see if that's too much. We'll come back to it. Well, I like this. I like the way this sounds. Yeah, that's great. Now I do want to add some more mid frequencies here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm missing this, a lot of this. Yeah, let's add a dB of that, a little bit wider. And let's add a bit of 3K. Yeah, but just a tiny bit. Let's try it, just a tiny bit like this. Okay, I like this. I like this. I could pull down on the highs just a tiny bit. Just like that. Half a dB maybe. Not too much. Let's see. Maybe I don't want that. I'll just bypass it. Yeah, so I'm trying to balance it out, and of course, always use your ears, but I can just as well look at the spectrum analyzer and just keep myself in check. You know, imagine you getting used to the way something sounds and just like expecting it to sound a way. No matter how calibrated you are, you know, you can always listen to, you know, music in between, trying to, you know, calibrate your ears, trying to always get some kind of a reference, you know, back into your mind. But what I really like to do is listen to like some reference music when I start my day, and of course, never too loud. I try not to do any of my work too loud, and all the tracks that I do master within a day, I do that at like really nominal levels of volume, not destroying my ears. And if I need to check any kind of, loudness impact, how it's going to sound when it's loud, because it does tend to shift the way your ears hear music, at different levels, I do that at the end of the day. First of all, at the end of the day, my ears are the most tired, and it's not the ears, it's not a physical thing, it's a mental thing, you not hearing really well in the evening. So I would advise always doing the fine-tuning and all the detail stuff in the morning after your blood pressure becomes normal. I don't know how much time you need to wake up, but once you wake up, before you hear anything loud, before you hear some, street work or like doing a new pavement or something, like you don't want any loud noise bumping your ears. That would seriously like skew your hearing for the day. So try to avoid stuff like that and try to do everything that is detailed in the morning when you hear really well. Then in the evening, you can do that kind of final check thing, loud music. Let's see how this feels. What's the energy like? Because any kind of detail is usually lost on you by the evening. Of course, if you work all day and you're just trying to get in all the details and listening to EQs and stuff like that. So doing all of the heavy lifting in the morning, then in the evening, just doing that final check. Now, this is the kind of balance I like. Let's see that. Now, I feel like this could be even higher. Like both of these could go even higher, like that, up to, say, maybe even 2 dBs. So let's try that out. Could go lower a bit. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Now, another thing we could do here is we could try to pull out the stereo information in the highest of the frequencies. Let me show you what I'm actually talking about. Let me play that part of the spectrum for you. Only that part of the spectrum. So, the super highs. Okay, like right here. You see that part of the spectrum? It's only the dust, but let's say if you listen to the breaks, see that part of the information? This. The super high frequencies. Now, it's isolating those really well based on the cue, but that part, the super high part, I want to pull that out, but not all of it, only the side part of that. So I want the side information pulled out like this. Let's try it. We can do an extreme version of that and then later, of course, back off. Let's see what that sounds like on the whole beat right here again. So we're pulling out the stereo information in the super highs. I want to make that narrower. So you see, it's not only the hi-hats. If you listen really closely, like this, it's not only the hi-hats. It's all the reverb information that you also have there. Let's play some melodies as well. So all the reverb information that's all the way in the highs, that super high stuff, this is gonna come out. You see that? So don't try to listen to a specific thing, appearing, but because those frequencies are really high. But what you will notice is the song opening up and closing when I bypass it. So open up and close. Listen, closed, open. Yeah, of course, this is a really extreme version of it. I don't really want to do that much. Maybe 1.5, 2, 3 dBs, whatever sounds good. I'm going to try it. And if it actually doesn't sound good, well, then I won't do it. But I feel like I need to open it a tiny bit. And when you're doing songs made out of samples, synths, artificial reverbs, this kind of information in the super high frequencies often can be added, but often also can be subtracted as well. Sometimes you wouldn't believe how much high frequency junk there is especially in electronic music, because most of these synths with their sawtooth, waveforms, they produce all frequencies and add distortion to that, or saturation goes even worse, so it fills up the spectrum a lot. So sometimes this is favorable, sometimes it's not. Don't do things just to do them. Always have a reason why. Understanding why you're doing something is way more important than all the tools and how you're going to fix the whatever thing you want to fix. Understanding why you're doing it, recognizing a problem that you want to fix is more important than anything else. Now, we have added some adjustment to the balance of the song. Now, let's bypass this EQ and see what it sounds like with and without it. And actually, I can select all of the changes that we made just now. So we're still keeping the reduction, okay, the resonances and stuff. We're just bypassing the balancing. That sounds nice. Let's try some other part of the song. I feel really good about these changes now. Again, if we have to adjust these, we will go back to those once we add more processing to this mastering chain.